And a good morning to you. Late, but still here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's raining. It's cold. It's a great day in the neighborhood, just in case you're wondering.
Whoops, sorry.
Everything's under control. He's getting his first diet due.
I have
Life
two.
is good.
I got two today.
Got two. Two-fisting. That's what I like, some man's two-fisting. Let's see here what we got going on. The Braves got wiped out last night.
Yeah, it's just.
And I think they're over tonight. And just in case you're wondering, that game time, we had it for 5:50 this afternoon, but it's been moved. It's 8:05 because the Dodgers got beat.
So they're going to be playing the early.
They're going to play at 8:05. They're supposed to play at 6:05. It got moved to 8:05, but the Braves hadn't told any of their affiliates. We heard it through the grapevine. So I'm having to go in and adjust logs and stuff.
Right.
Junior Adams, good morning to you, sir. Glad to have you in the house.
Good morning.
So yeah, I've got to change that. That didn't work out real well. Went up yesterday, and
Excuse me.
my good buddy Calvin Hastings said, I want to try out your golf course sometime. I said, okay. So we took off, went up there yesterday, and teed off about 11 o'clock, and waited very little, played it in about 3.5 hours, and there were a few people out on the course, not many.
Did you guys, y'all drove?
We drove,
Rode, yeah.
And then and it took me almost 9 to get loose. I was so stiff. But I'm going to change that as Wednesday afternoons are probably going to be a designated, not in the office, not in the shop.
Put me down.
On the golf course.
Put me down.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
It's getting that time of day.
Put me down.
Getting that time of year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start enjoy it. Plus, really nice buffet yesterday. Beef tips over rice.
I forgot about
with
that.
black-eyed peas.
So we need to play about 2.
We can.
So we finish up at.
No,
buffet
that
starts
was
at what time?
lunch. The lunch buffet.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about the lunch.
Yeah. We played at 11, and we stopped between 9s. It wasn't that crowded. We stopped between 9s and had lunch, and
Oh,
then
they
went
let
back out and
you do
played back
that?
9. There's nobody behind us.
There wasn't?
There's nobody up there after about 1 o'clock. Till when we were finishing up, Lenore
That's
Ryan
when
and
the
some
guys
of the
come
things
on in, and then the
starting to
kids,
come.
like
Yeah.
the different schools.
Schools.
Yeah, I got you. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Really nice. It was nice
That's
to get out
wonderful.
there on a day like that. Bob Duckworth. Bob Duckworth was our winner this past week on our football pick'em contest
Oh,
at
I
Lincoln
have no
Times News. We had 4 people tie this week at 12-3, and it was tiebreaker. And undoubtedly, everybody has their favorite number. Bob has his favorite number.
Right.
And then we had the other 3 people. They all had the same number, but they weren't the one that Bob had. Bob was closer.
Love
So
it.
congratulations to Bob.
I love it.
Richie, good morning. Carrie, good morning. Carrie says if 4 has 2 dues for the show, I hope they are decaf. No, he wants them. He wants the straight ones. He wants the leaded. He does
Oh, my
go
gosh.
diet.
Man.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Carrie. If you drink a caffeine-free Diet Mountain Dew, you just ruined everything. You got to at least have the sugar or the caffeine, one of the two. And I'm still sipping on my Monster from 5 o'clock this morning when I went by the convenience store. Some people sip on coffee. I sip on a Monster. So we're getting there.
Man, Coach Edwards, those guys, they were great guys to like follow. You know, because I was pretty young when I got in, and just starting out of school, whatever. Those guys, they were great, man. Guys, it was fun just watching them. They were incredible. Coach Randy Fawcett.
I coached for
Edwards,
Fawcett for a couple.
Kramer.
Yep.
I mean, Bunker Hill was great.
Yes.
Dude. I
Yes.
love going over just watching those guys. They were
Ed
fantastic.
Klink.
Coach Klink was
Ed
great.
Klink,
Yeah, he was great. Coach Curtis, Marty was over there for a long.
Marty
I tell
had
you what.
stopped football when I was there, but he
Yeah.
was still the AD
Oh
in baseball.
yeah, but he was so actively involved
Yeah.
with. I really liked. That was a cool place, man.
Yeah.
Or,
Now,
I mean,
if
it
I'm
still
not
is,
mistaken,
but I
think
really
Kramer
liked it.
took over as
He
AD
did. He did.
after
He did.
Marty
Yeah,
retired.
man, and then of course they all know Cam Beard, who Cameron came through there, and 20 years ago, or whatever. 50, well, that wasn't quite. Yeah, what? Wait a minute.
Was he late
No.
90s?
No. He was 2008 to
Oh, okay.
2007 to 10. But anyway, how many ever years ago it was? But yeah, great community, man. Love those guys.
I'll tell you a story. I had to tell Bob. I called him to get his address, mail check, and I said I got to tell you a story too. I said My daughter just started to work at a new place. I think it's called Carolina Rehabilitation. It's up in Morganton.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
It's
I know where it
rehab,
is. Yeah.
assisted living.
Right.
You know.
I know where it is. Yeah.
And she really likes. She said, it's kind of the Abernathy Laurels of Burke County, and she loved working at Abernathy Laurels.
Oh,
She lives up in Morganton now, so she
Right.
needs something closer.
Tough. Yeah.
So anyway, when I was at practice on Tuesday, I got a video call from her.
Okay.
I stepped away and took it.
I remember when you
And
did
she said,
that,
"What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm at football practice." She said, well, I got to tell you something. She said, "I've got a patient," and we were talking, and she said, "I realized that I knew him." She said, when I was swimming, she swam for Maiden one year when she was a senior.
Uh-huh.
She said, he used to come and practice with us, and our coach coached his team. It was Greg Brunt.
Are you serious?
And she said, I remembered him. I told him who you were. He knew you because I'd met him through Bob.
Wow.
At the Hall of Fame when he went into the Sports Hall of Fame. And so she turned the phone around so I could talk to him. And then she told me, she said, turn your phone around so he can see what you're doing. So I turned around and was showing him the kids practice and stuff. But that was so neat, And he's a great guy. And Bob made a weekly visit up there to him yesterday.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
And he wants me to come see him. And Candace said, I'll get him to come up here and see you. So I've got to put that on my list to go.
We'll go up
go
there.
see.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
And we'll stop by and do a couple things on the way up
Okay.
and back. So
Okay.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome.
Greg's a great guy. I mean, what he
Oh, yeah,
accomplished
man.
through Special Olympics
Yeah.
is unbelievable, and
Yeah.
truly a deserving member of the Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'd like to meet him.
But that was
I
a
know who
neat.
it
That
is.
was
I'd
a
like to
neat
meet him.
thing,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
it's amazing how small the world is and the connections and stuff. But yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy. And
I was at Mars Hill yesterday. Quinn, they had a fall baseball scrimmage, and they had soccer, men's and women's
I
soccer.
thought they were
going.
down here.
No, they were up there. That's where I was. That's why I look like
And they
I'm-
played who?
CVCC.
See, I was thinking
So-
like it was going to be here.
So I got to see, Marshall McDonald, who's the head coach at
Mm-hmm.
CVCC. I got to spend some time with him. Randall Ortiz, who's one of his assistants, that was a former Maiden player. He moved here, from out of country when he was in high school and played at Maiden and went on and played at CVCC. And now he's coaching, summer college ball, but he's helping Marshall there. And Marshall's going to be the new head coach at Post 48 in Hickory. So that's cool. And I get to meet and talk with him because I'm involved with the Legion and stuff up there. Sons American Legion, but also just baseball in general, just, helping out or whatever. And then, well, anyway, so, yeah, we were up there, and one of the kids on Quinn's team from Florida, his mother has ties to North Carolina, and her cousin went to West Lincoln. So I'm sitting there like, now all this just happened randomly, like, just in – how you and I are. We get around somebody, we ain't never met a stranger, right?
That's correct.
So we're just hanging out talking or whatever, and so they graduated in 76 or 77 or something like that. So I figured they probably knew you, but I couldn't, So anyway, small world, man. You talk about small
Bob
world.
said that Ed Klink still rides his bike around Hickory with no helmet. Let me tell you something, Bob. You could not hurt Klink's head. I promise.
That's incredible.
I mean, that's a hard-headed man, I know.
that's
But
incredible.
he's hilarious. He's
love it.
hilarious. Oh, watch him and Fawcett get into it was funny. And Fawcett would do it just to tee him up.
Oh, yeah.
Lindsay went to the opening night of the Canes last night. Canes win 5-3 in Raleigh. They bought the mini package or something, like a half season. They get so many games.
Well, I know she's
Okay.
into it. I think that's wonderful.
They
and
like
it's exciting
them.
too. And the friends that we have in the Raleigh area, that Mandy and I know really well. These are people that either I went to school with, relatives, because they're from that triangle area or whatever. It's becoming like this really big deal.
Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful.
Rundown scores from last night. It was Houston as they finished up their series in the ALDS 3-1.
They won what?
They won 3-2 over Minnesota. Win the
So
series
they
3-1.
did win last night. I got in. I crashed.
Arizona beat the Dodgers 4-2. They swept the Dodgers 3-0. 3 straight wins. Arizona over the Dodgers. So the Dodgers are in, and I'm guessing it will be the winner of the Atlanta Philadelphia. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Philadelphia beat Atlanta last night 10-2. The bats have gone cold, and I don't think it's going to make any difference tonight because you know who's on the mound for the Phillies? Steven Strider.
Yeah.
And he pretty well waxed him on the first game, if I'm not mistaken. So, and you can get a ticket to that game up in Philly for as low as $3.17 if you want to go see the Phillies and the Braves play.
That's the inflation-adjusted price.
I guess. But that game has been moved up, and then that's it for baseball.
Yeah.
Provided the Phillies win. Now, if the Phillies don't win and it goes 2-2, that game will be tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double-check. I don't think
it's Saturday.
Is it Saturday? Yes, it will be Saturday. Go back to Atlanta, so they'll have to take a day off.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I wouldn't go ahead and make your plans for Atlanta just yet.
You don't think so?
Nope.
I don't know, man. Baseball's weird.
Nope.
You know, I think Bob was he's been right. So I think he was at a game a few years ago, series when Legion series when we were playing Caldwell, and we beat him the first game. It was in a playoff series, and so we beat him it was a good game. It was like 8-5 or something like that. You know, it wasn't anything crazy. We go up to call the next night. They beat us like 27 to like 1 or 2. I asked the guy, I said, why'd you even try to score a run? Anyway. But then it was Tyler Poole, his senior year, those guys, Cam Beard's last year playing. That was my state championship, team. Mm-hmm. They were really, they could just forget anything. They were that mature, mm-hmm. right? And so the next night we went back home and played, and I think we were up 2-0 on Caldwell. We beat them at their place, beat them at our place. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is it's a 5-game series. In Game 3, they crushed us. Like 25 runs at Deal Stadium. It was incredible.
Wow.
And so anyway, we go back the next night, and kids just flushed at Jacob Hole, all those kids, no problem. And we win it out and then go the next round. And so my point of that is with Atlanta, baseball's a funny.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And
they've not looked good in the playoffs,
right? Well, again, we talked about this summer about how some teams are built to win games and mm-hmm. some are built to win series and playoffs and things like that. And a lot of times, you might say, is that really different? And I can tell you it is, because sometimes managing and coaching, you can manipulate an individual game, right? But when you get in a series, you can't hide from the level that you're really at.
Well, and the other side, that when you get to a series like this, it's win or go home. It's not like you're going to have another series next week.
That's right. And so you kind of manage it, you're based on what you got. And then sometimes, like I said, you're going to – the level that you're at is going to find you.
And the reason
what happens.
The reason I say Atlanta's done is because I think Philly wins it all.
Yeah, well, and they're good. They're that good.
Yeah.
They are. And, it's like Moneyball. You can be very prudent and very frugal and get a lot out of things and find a lot of value, mm-hmm. but eventually your level will find you.
Yep.
And that's what and I'm not being like Debbie Downer towards how they did things. I'm mm-hmm. saying what they did was wonderful, and it kind of redefined how you find players and the value of things. But, it will find you, Lane. Yeah. It's like high school football.
Mm-hmm.
Your level will find you, won't it?
Yep.
It will.
You can think what you want to. Divisions will be over. Championship series will start on Sunday, and it will be Texas at Houston. Justin Verlander will be on the mound, undecided on the Texan side. And then on Monday, it will be Arizona at whoever, either at Atlanta or at Philadelphia, one of the two. And those games get started on Monday. It'll be a doubleheader on Monday. The National League will be first. The American League will be second. So baseball still getting underway. We've got some football going on tonight. I didn't watch any last night.
No, I did. I came in and crashed.
I
had nothing.
Well, I played golf, so I had to crash. It was New Mexico State over Sam Houston, 27-13. UTEP over Florida International, 27-14. Tonight, it is your East Carolina Pirates hosting the SMU Mustangs. And if you want to go see that, you can get a ticket $4. Or if you want to go see West by God, Virginia, play at Houston, you can get a ticket down there for $2. That's your two games tonight. I'll be watching SMU and East Carolina.
Is that inflation adjusted?
I guess. I think that's interest adjustment right there. That's bad.
Let me tell you something. Well, I don't know if I should say. Yeah, I'm going to say it because I don't care. You don't necessarily go to ECU for the football game, okay?
Not in school.
Whoa.
You know why people went to ECU? It's probably still true today. It was like a 3-to-1 female over male ratio because of the nursing and medical stuff at the center.
I didn't realize that.
I'm sure you did.
That's incredible. That's the first time I've ever heard that.
I figured it was. Might want to roll your pants up getting deep in here. I
didn't know Mandy then, so I'm
right.
Okay.
And then tomorrow night, it'll be Tulane at Memphis, Fresno State at Utah State, and I may have to take a nap because it's going to be Stanford at Colorado, but they don't play till 10, which is after my bedtime. I'd have to take a nap and get up if I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, you're going to have to do that to watch prime time.
Because that's not going to happen.
Watch prime.
Oh, here we go. Thank you, Atlanta Braves Radio Network. Airtimes. Airtimes for games 4 and 5.
What did they decide to do?
It will be $6.50. It'll be $7.50 for us because we don't run the first hour of the pregame. $7.50 first pitch at 8:07, and then if there's a second, if another game's needed, be the same thing. Be $7.50 with an 8:07 pitch on Saturday night. Now I have to admit, the Braves they kind of come in. Hate to say it, but second place in pecking order. Because on Saturdays and Sundays,
college football and pro football.
Yeah, we run college football.
Yeah, that's what me and Manny the boys do.
Yeah, but I'm talking about on radio. We carry the Braves. Yeah. The Braves don't get carried if those two teams
football. Football's.
We'll join
that time of year.
Yeah,
you
and you've had 175,000 games to watch before then, so you need to be able to go ahead and do something else. Let me take a quick break, and we come back and we'll have a little more chit chat here. Don't know what the chit-chat's going to be yet because I'm not prepared. I've been doing all kinds of things.
I got two.
Okay, back in a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. Now, welcome back. Let me hit a couple comments before we get started down Mr. Rembert's list here. They just said, great hockey game in Raleigh last night. Hockey's great live. Y'all come see what all the hype's about.
You know
I'm going to attend
No,
one.
we will. Laney and I, and I'll probably bring Mandy. Let's just take,
Kim wanted to go last year. We just couldn't get down
let's
there.
do that because I can knock out a couple of things down there. And, well, you know what I'm saying? And I got a couple of things I got to do.
I got to get Cubby here first for making plans. Cubby's my grandson's on the way. We're within about 2 weeks. So I got to be flexible. I still got to go to Connecticut. I hadn't been to Connecticut yet.
Hey,
so
what is your name going to be?
Poppy. I'm Poppy. Wes said, no, it's going to be Pawpaw. I'm like, no, there was only one of those. Poppy. Poppi. Poppy. I want to be different. I like to be different.
That's pretty cool. I think I'm going to be, and it's going to be a long, long, long time from now. Quinn, you're not listening, but when you watch this, understand what I'm saying. Long, long time from now.
Let me
going to be Grand Bear.
Let me tell you something. And I've told this story before, I think, when Addison graduated high school 2 years ago. Camden said, well, Dad, I guess the next high school graduation you'll be coming to will be a grandchild and probably going to be me. To which I responded, let me put that in perspective for you. If you're pregnant right now, which I hope you're not because, you're not married, let's get everything straightened out, get your jobs established, those kind of things, which, she's getting married in December.
Yeah, sure.
I said, but if you were, I would be 80 plus at that graduation.
Oh, yeah.
And you should have seen her mouth go. I'm like, Dad's old, honey. Dad's old.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I am 63. I'll be closing in on 82 when Cubby graduates from high school, which will be the first grandchild to graduate from high school. Anyway.
Hey, man, this is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
We'll have him on the golf course. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff.
Andrew said, I think it may be better to make it a 7-game series. Are you talking about
divisionals? Divisionals.
No.
Well, now, I think I know where he's going with this. So there are some questions among baseball, let's just say fans, okay, people that really follow it, that really want to see it, about truly trying to get the best team through the series. And, the World Series used to be 5 out of 9, and of course it's 100 years ago, instead of 4 out of 7. So I can understand why people that are enthusiastic, that really enjoy baseball, want the series to play itself out more than just 5 games. Because normally you got 4 arms, okay, that, you get in the mix. And what happens is when you play that 7th game, you hit the rotation twice again. So you got one. Normally you have 1 or 1 and 2 pitching again if you go to 7. So you really, in theory, do get the best result if it does go to, you know what I'm saying, if you do that. So I think I understand what he's saying now. Most people don't want it that they don't mind the World Series going 4 out of 7, Lanny. But it's kind of like NBA playoffs. Okay? It's way too long.
Unless they would cut down the regular season.
Well, either way, the fact that they finish up in April,
right,
and they run all the way through June, I'm sorry, I'm disengaged with basketball about the time March rolls around, okay? About March Madness, and that's it, okay? Yep. It's not 3 months later. It just can't, sometimes.
And I want to say NBA preseason's getting ready to start.
The old cliche that is now old that used to be new is sometimes less is more. For engagement purposes, But they're TV contracts, so what are they worried about?
Andrew, I think it's closer to what you're saying there. Also, because the Braves had a much longer break because they had a bye.
Yeah.
I have never been in favor of buys. I don't like them in high school. I don't like them anywhere.
Yeah.
I want you to play straight through.
Yeah.
Because then
Keeps
everything.
everybody on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on the same. Same
I'm
thing.
with you. I'm with you.
Richie said, I heard someone stole the 2 L's from the Hollywood sign. Everything points to the Dodgers taking them as they took 2 L's to Arizona. Also, the first time in postseason history that a team has hit 4 home runs in an inning.
That's an interesting stat. Yeah, wow.
And Richie thinks the Braves are done. I do too. And Lindsay said we're on Cubby Watch.
I don't disagree with you and Richie. I'm just saying that baseball is, it's just strange the way that you can look like you're done and all of a sudden you just come out of nowhere and get hot. Mm-hmm. It's such a streaky game, and so it wouldn't shock me if the Braves came back and won the series because that's the way baseball is. You just kind of get hot and go with it, but. I'm with you guys. It's probably not going to happen, okay?
First topic you got on your list, sir.
Okay. So quarterbacks in the NFL that are in jeopardy of losing their job. Mm-hmm. All right, who we got? Mac Jones, I think, has to be at the top.
I think
or
he's
close
done.
to it.
I think he's
Now the other now I did read on this, and the other point of view on that is they want to work through all of the stuff, I guess is a good word, and get him and O'Brien a year under their belts to get things right built around, because there's some internal whatever that continuity is not necessarily off between him and the receivers as much as it is between the other stuff that goes into the whatever.
Let me tell you my take and what I've heard. I've heard that the problem, that may be part of it, but the problem mostly is Mac Jones and his attitude and arrogance. You can't fix that with time unless you want it fixed.
No, and there was that part that was put in there as well, that there's got to be a little bit more. There's a difference between being confident in what you do and going out. I never saw Brady as arrogant. Some people may feel that way for multiple reasons. But I always saw him as a guy that had a chip on his shoulder. He was pissed that he got drafted in the 6th round, and he was going to take the football and shove it up your big toe every time he went out, right? So whether people like him or hate him or whatever, that was one of the things that I don't think you could ever say, about the way that he approached his business, right? He always approached every day as if his job was on the line, because he almost didn't get the opportunity to be there. And when he did everything he could do to capitalize on it, and be a good teammate. So who else do you think is on that list?
Bryce Young. I'll give you my take for Bryce Young.
That's right. It was on the list, but way down.
He needs to sit for a year and learn. Because they're going to beat him.
Die.
They're going to beat him.
He's going to die.
They're not going to have anything left.
Yeah.
Put the red rifle out there and let him play.
Well, the ball's got to be out in less than 3 seconds, or he's going to die.
And they can't.
No,
he don't have the receivers that can get separation. They don't have linemen that can do it. So we talked about that. Calvin and I talked about that yesterday. We were playing golf. They have so many issues, and not only was it bad, they bring Rule in, and it got worse. And it's going to take so much time. The defense has gotten old. And it's going to take so much time to rebuild. And you got an owner that may rival Jerry Jones.
I tried. Hey.
He's a soccer guy. Well, I know. No, I'm with you. I'm just saying.
Your focus becomes your reality. All right? Don't leave it at that.
Talk to people.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so the next one, potentially could be, this is a big one. And it was up there on top of the list as well in discussion. But, that was with Russell Wilson. So when we look at how Russ plays and what he's done, how he's, kind of pairing up with Sean Payton, where does that fall? Right? Where do all the draft picks that they traded away, to get Russ in, okay? And then, the pay is not equaling anywhere close to the production, okay? Now, there's an excitement and buzz when, Russell first got in, because he's extremely athletic. He can move in the pocket. He can throw the football deep. He has a rifle arm. But things are not working the way they need to be working, and that is very evident. It was evident last year with a guy that was thought not to do a very good job in developing, a team and an offense, but yet we've got one of the all-time greats of doing that, and it's not working so well. So my question
he is better this year than last year, though. Russell is.
It couldn't get much worse,
right?
Do you agree?
Yes,
okay, now I'm not downing
He's
that.
not
What
there.
I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
But Peyton is so good at being able to allow quarterbacks to do what they do really well, staying away from the stuff that maybe isn't the best, and then being able to have packages. Well, I mean, like he did with the
Drew Brees,
with Drew Brees and the
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I mean, that managing the game. Yeah, he was able to get. Think about that. Drew Brees probably took 2 or 3 less hits a game because of the way Peyton managed the game and getting Hill in some, but then also, on obvious throwing downs, a good quick stretch handoff. Things like that.
I can give a year between Peyton and Russell Wilson because you've seen Russell Wilson do it before. You've seen Russell Wilson get to that level.
Absolutely.
And I think it's going to take some time for that to happen. Now, if it were me, he would be on a very short leash next year.
Well, the conversations like this, hey, man, look, you've had a great career. Worked really hard. You've done some great things, Super Bowls, that kind of thing. So, I appreciate the fact you got a lot of, a good contract and everything. So I'm the head coach, okay? Ownership is giving me the ultimate authority to do what I need to do, okay? So we're going to get on the same page or we're going to have to make some changes, okay? Because if we're not winning now, and we're not seeing that happen in the future, what are we doing here? Are we just, letting people play because they got paid, or are we letting,
That's going to be a management decision because of the cap hit.
That's what I'm saying. So, it may be one of those things too, Lanny. Sometimes, there's that old thing, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk, that kind of thing. If this doesn't work out, then, you're going to see Peyton kind of do what Shanahan's done, and he's going to start building his defense immediately and then bringing in his offensive guys as he sees fit through quality and value. And then, Shanahan's greatest move, everyone pointed to McCaffrey, right? McCaffrey's an actual compliment to Samuel and not the other way around, the way that I see it. That doesn't mean that McCaffrey's not as good as Deebo saying. That's not what I mean. But they already had everything in place. Now McCaffrey is that right complement to Deebo Samuel,
Correct.
Okay? All right. So the actual greatest part that they've done is Bosa. There is it's like T.J. Watt, okay? It's like the kid that, the big guy the other night, and I think Bob or somebody put his name in, and, of course, whatever. But on Tuesday, the big defensive end from Las Vegas, crazy guy, 98. He's
Cosby.
awesome. Yeah, incredible. You can't like that. When you build your structure on that side, it makes everything on this side look really good.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for it. It's because of field position. You get a great punter, you get your defense in place, then you start doing the other stuff like you want to. And then it
gives you more cushion.
Think about the way New England did it. New England always had a great kicker. They always had a great punter. And they always had great defense. And then they had a lot of these guys that were like, well, gosh, he's a good player, but I don't remember him too much in college. That's because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's because they did what they're supposed to do. So the head coach is in jeopardy. Who are they? That's number 2.
Is it Nagy that's at Chicago?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's in trouble.
Okay, who else?
I think Belichick is.
You think he's in trouble?
Yeah.
Whoa, I need to put that one down. That's incredible.
Unless, you may tell you the only reason I think that Kraft lets Belichick hang around.
Yeah.
Because he's so close to getting the most wins, okay, and past Shula. He's in third.
Yeah.
So that the New England Patriots would own that title forever because nobody's ever staying in the league.
Along with the number of Super Bowls, right?
Yeah.
So no, that's a good
I
point.
mean, but he's not even putting a competitive product on the field.
All right. That's a great point. All right. Who is the who's one more that you think might be in trouble?
Let me think for just a minute.
This will shock you. No, maybe not, but it did kind of me. Go West.
Chargers head coach?
I mean, that's possible, but keep going.
Rams? No.
Carroll.
Pete Carroll? No.
Yep.
They didn't get rid of him before. They won't get rid of him now.
Yeah. So
if they'd have got rid of him before, Russell wouldn't have had to move, and they would have stayed competitive.
I got it. But how long and how can Geno continue what he did last year?
He can't.
Okay. So a lot of that
he's average at best.
Right. So your level finds you. That doesn't make him a bad person. I want to be very clear.
Mm-hmm.
He is a very, very good pro guy, I think. He's good for the game.
Mm-hmm.
He is a great ambassador for football, for the communities, all of those things, right? So he has the intangibles that you want out of someone that has all that pressure on them. Distribution of things has to be at the forefront for him, not necessarily dynamic playmaking. So we agree with that, right? So what about the defensive side of the ball?
It's not nearly what it was.
Right. And so
that's his specialty.
And it goes in cycles. Plus, Coach Carroll is getting a little older.
Bill's the same way. They're about the same age. And look at the number of points they've given up in 3 games.
You're right. The whatever they call it, the plus minus, whatever it is. I really think that Pete Carroll may decide after this year that he's going to step away.
I don't know. He
and
can
do something else.
I don't know that he can.
I mean, he's still got a lot of energy. He's still very vibrant. But after, when you do something for, 8, 10, 12, 15 years, sometimes you need to change to get reinvigorated. They talk about that in the business community a lot, about, you don't see a lot of people doing the same thing for like 30 and 40 years. That's very unique. Or with the same company. They kind of, tend to navigate or get reinvigorated. Kind of like Brady did with New England, even though he had a great career there. When he went to Tampa Bay, it was new, it was exciting, as state income tax-free. But you know what I'm saying. It's just kind of different, right? So we see that a lot in the business world, as well with ventures and, things like that. So I don't know if he would find something new. And he really enjoyed coaching college football. I think that's one thing that was overlooked with Pete Carroll.
Till he got in trouble.
Well, the same rules that they got in trouble on are now,
legal.
Yeah, I mean, so that tells you that, eventually it's kind of like weed, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's illegal, people have been doing it for however long, and now it's just kind
more
of like,
accepted.
Well, I mean, are you sit there going to put all your energy going into, oh my, I can't believe he did that? Are you going to focus on things that you do?
Yeah.
It's like people talk about housing. We had a development pop up over here, and I heard a lot of people say, well, those yards aren't big enough. I said, I have 2 questions. Number 1, why are you so angry? And number 2, why do you care how big somebody else's yard is? So I think a lot of times we get into that when it comes to the
goes back
issues
to
and everything.
My favorite saying: do not spend energy on things you don't control.
Yeah, I mean,
because you're wasting your time.
Right,
you're wasting really good energy.
Don't invest energy into it, and don't let anybody or anything live in your head rent free.
Going back
Kinda
to
like,
your quarterback thing.
Yes.
Chad thinks Mac Jones reminds him of Carson Wentz.
Ooh.
Now, let me tell you who he reminds me of. I got one better than that because
Ooh.
I never liked the guy. Jay Cutler.
Oh.
Jay Cutler. Oh, my God.
He had a little bit of attitude.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? He's displayed it at all times. He wanted everybody to know how he felt.
Bobby Hurley.
Didn't care
First
for
2
him.
years at Duke.
Yeah, didn't care for him. Ronnie said, and I think you're right, Ronnie, but I don't know how they fix it. Could Mike McCarthy if they don't make a run?
Okay.
Somebody told me.
Who said that?
Somebody, one of the talking heads said Ronnie Williams.
Oh, it's a
Some
great
of the
point.
talking
Great
heads
point.
said that if Dallas doesn't at least make it to the NFC Championship game, there's going to be huge question marks on not only McCarthy but on Dak and the money they put out there.
Everybody's already got the question mark on him because the topic keeps coming up. Can he do it? Can he do it? Can he do it? If you keep having to ask that question, you already know the answer.
Yeah.
And you can't wish upon a star Oh, no pun intended. How about that? All right, you can't wish upon a star. That was
that was subconscious right there.
You can't do that and make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, and I said it earlier today. I'm going to be saying it for the next 6 months till I wear it out, okay? Your level will find you.
Mm-hmm.
In anything you do, that's why you have to constantly try to improve yourself in whatever area it is, or the level that you're at will find you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what is it. Romo,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you what he accomplished in the NFL was sort of remarkable based on some of the things that he was able to do,
mm-hmm.
okay? Could he win the game, playoff game, say, you know, bad luck, this, that, whatever. It is what it is. But his level eventually found him. You know, you look at the great
some players and teams can only go to a certain level.
Yeah.
And then their ability starts to show up that they can't make it to the next step.
That's true.
Regardless. I mean, that's the things. What was your third topic?
So do we have time?
Yeah, just quickly.
Okay.
What was your third topic?
So the third one is, all right, this is a broad one, okay? Why are offenses still struggling when rules are bent their way? I'm talking about football, basketball, and baseball. And I want Bob, all right, to think about this one for basketball. When I was a kid, all right, before we had all these speed up this and shoot it from over here this and all this, I remember Celtics and Lakers games or Celtics and 76ers, you know, when you watch
mm-hmm.
like on, you know, whatever it was on
mm-hmm.
Saturday or whatever, Sunday, whatever. These games on CBS Sports, these games would be like 135 to, you know, like 131, you know, or 3 overtimes, you know, 150. I'm just giving crazy example, but I'm, you know, again, not exact numbers, but like 141 to 38. Well, today, you know, the games seem like they're a little less in points, but yet we have all these supposed great shooters, okay? And God forbid that, you know, LeBron or anybody else drive to the basket and somebody, you know, put a touch on them. You know, they flop as much as the soccer guys do, okay? So, sorry, Andrew. So, what about it? Baseball's the same way.
I've got a theory.
Baseball's the same way.
I got a theory on the basketball.
Go ahead.
And I got a theory on the baseball as well.
Yeah.
Both of those sports, although they are team sports, have become too individualized.
Basketball and
baseball.
I think baseball's always been that way. But
it has, but there was more of a team concept.
Because of bunting, right? The small ball. I understand.
Small ball.
Yeah, right.
You don't have small ball. You don't have base hitters anymore. So it's become an individual game. The ones that can hammer it, and the ones that can't, they're just out there playing defense. And I think basketball is the same way. In basketball, especially on the NBA level, you've got certain players that demand X amount of touches. You know what I'm saying?
And days off.
It's not about winning.
Right.
It is not about – one of the things that's always been said about LeBron, even though as great as he is one of the biggest team players, and he would rather distribute and let the team do it than for him to have to take it and put it on his back.
Who are you talking about?
LeBron James has always – he is a great distributor. You don't see that?
Of distributor of what?
The basketball.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I can see that. That's a good point. I never really thought about it that way.
James Harden, I don't know my basketball players, but you've got these individual players, and Kyrie Irving's a great example. He's going to play his game. And I think that's why the NBA, because they don't put enough into the team aspect of it. And baseball's the same way.
So all the way
when
down
you did baseball lineups, okay?
Yeah.
You put people in positions based on what you felt like the person around them could do to bring them up.
All right, here you go. Leadoff guy, obviously, that's the guy I want that gets on base. Contact the ball, great. Whatever, gets hit, I don't care. He's the guy that can get on, and he can move to second base, okay? Right? My number 2 hitter. All right, preferably a lefty if I could get it, because I like to delay steal, even do some running and bunting behind it, control the bat really well. Pretty good contact guy, but runs good too, okay? All right, depending on the team I had, it could be my best hitter, so I could hide him in that 2-hole so they'd pitch to him and he could – but anyway, 3-hole hitter, probably my best hitter overall of anything, okay? 4-hole hitters, you know, a little bit more of a burly, stronger type kind of guy, okay? 5-hole hitter has leadoff characteristics. You say, well, why would you not have a big guy batting 5? because a lot of times when things change up, you go 4 hitters, there's 3 outs, okay? And it happens in the 2, 5, and 7 slot more than any other slot at that time when I was coaching, that they would be leading off an inning. So I made sure that all 3 of those slots had leadoff characteristics because of the amounts and the numbers that came up when they would, because they'd have to lead off an inning. So your 6-hole guy was much like your 2, but he wasn't your 2. All right. Your 7 guy was a gap power guy. All right, but also had maybe a little bit of deficiency, a little bit higher strikeout ratio than what you wanted, but he was a gap power guy. So he's kind of like a combination of your 3, 4, 5, where you still run a little bit but can put the bat on the ball. Number 8, probably my worst hitter, or maybe maybe most inconsistent. Maybe he was a pretty good hitter, but just didn't do things at times. So I want to make sure they could lay the ball down. And then my number 9 guy was really my second leadoff, which was like number 1. He just wasn't quite what 1 was, okay? Now, things adapt and adjust as time goes on when you build your team and you do things to, do that. But I'm a numbers guy, all right? I'm not an analytical guy, all the way, but I put analysis into things, right? And I do it to the point where I make sure that I never get paralysis from analysis so I continue to move. You've seen that with us coaching together. I watch you with kids. You don't get analysis from paralysis. You see things, you make a decision, you make a suggestion, you go with
There's
it.
a lot of feel in coaching.
Yes, and that's,
in the moment.
And that's why you're not analytical. You evaluate, run the numbers in your head, then you make the decision, right? Because you know what's right, okay? The probabilities, right?
Yeah.
And the intuition, right? Like you said, the feeling. So the problem I have with baseball is they should have never changed any of the rules. I do like the speed up because they were taking too long between pitches and using too many pitchers. But what they should have done is just shrink the strike zone.
Yeah. They don't have to shrink it. They just have to get umpires that will use it.
They're pretty good. I got to tell you, they're pretty good.
There's a handful.
Yeah, they're overall they're pretty good, but it's too big for them to throw that hard. Okay, if they want to increase the offensive output, then you lessen the area that you have to put the ball in. So it takes away from having to make. See, they're doing all these other things, and say, well, how would you lessen the strike zone? Let me tell you something. You condense a box like this down to this if you want to. Well, there'll be more walks. No, they'll have to stop throwing as hard and actually throw strikes because there is, an inflection point, Lanny, of where throwing as hard as you can and being consistent are 2 different things. Right now, they're the one because it's too crazy on how hard a lot of these guys throw. I don't care if they throw 110 miles an hour. You can still hit it. And people say, oh, my God, you can't hit that. Yes, you can. Okay, yes, you can. You can train for it. Your body will adapt to it. That's why all of these rules, and I talk about adaptation, especially in the NFL and in baseball, all right, everything is skewed offensively. You can no longer do a shift. You can't put your defense. You're putting your defense out there. Why does anybody care where you put it? Well, because the hitter says, I got to be able to go over here and hit it, and it's not fair that he can do.
But it's because, in my opinion, it's because they are not teaching the hitters to be able to control where the ball goes based on what's available to you.
That's not what they're and you're right. And the problem is everything's about metrics. Well, he swings the bat. His exit velocity is this. His, launch angle is this. That is great, and that is science, but it doesn't make it right.
Right.
Okay, when it comes to execution. If the guy's launch angle is this, but he strikes out 7 out of 10 times, then what in the heck are we talking about?
Bob said all or nothing, home run or strikeout, 3-pointer or nothing. Dennis said, great point, Lanny. Too much individual one-on-one and settling for 3-point shots.
Who said that?
Dennis Lee.
Oh, Dennis Lee. Oh,
yeah.
Great guy.
And,
great
and
point,
Ronnie
Dennis.
said
Great
any
point.
team
Great
sport
point.
has got to have good role players. Going back to your lineup, the point that I wanted to make on your lineup, and I agree with you 100%, but when you looked at your lineup, now I think they make decisions based on what this individual can give me alone instead of what can this individual do in conjunction with the other pieces that I put around them to elevate everybody. And that's where when you look at a lineup, you're looking at who's
100%.
coming next, who went in front, and if all you're doing is swinging for the fence or striking out, you're not looking. It was always about getting guys on base and advancing the runner.
Yeah, no, it is. And
manufacturing runs.
Yeah. And you know, that's one of the things that, you know, all the great coaches baseball-wise, you know, high school, college, even back in the day with pro ball, you know, Sparky Anderson had guys that could hit home runs and pitch really well. But he had guys that control the bat and run the bases too. Okay?
See, that's why I've lost interest in baseball, because
I don't even watch it.
There's no strategy to it anymore. There used to be strategy to baseball.
There's nothing exciting to me.
Now, there is in college, but
yeah, just starting to get that way again. There's nothing exciting to me about hitting a home run anymore.
It is if you had two base runners that got on.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. You know, yesterday I'm watching, you know, I'm up at Mars Hill. They're scrimmages at CVCC, right? College baseball. And it's good. You know, the guys are getting geared back up. They're trying to get ready for their, you know, spring season. CVCC's played I think Marshall told me they played several games, you know, like 10 or 12 games already. Mars Hill just played 2 because the rules are, you know, they're a little different between JUCO and,
right.
You know, but it was a good, you know, it was a good atmosphere, and they got a lot of good players at CVCC, and Mars Hill's got some good, you know, pretty good players that have, you know, experienced players coming back. But, you know, watching that yesterday, the first pitch of the game, the Mars Hill pitcher through the CVCC kid hit it over the left field fence. First pitch of the game. You know, that to me, that was exciting. But also it's indicative of today's game where anybody hits the ball out at any time, where traditionally with leadoff guys, you very rarely see that. You see them, you know, finding a way to get on base. You know, whether it's a chopper that they beat out or they're really fast and putting pressure on the infield to get rid of the ball like right now. You know, those kind of things, right? So, you know, and the game yesterday was good. There was 4 bunts in the game yesterday, the doubleheader. I mean, it was great strategic baseball, even in fall baseball. And it was exciting to watch the kids react to it, execute plays. Everybody did their job. You know, first and second, for example, CVCC lays a bunt down. It's bunted a little too hard. Pitcher's able to get to it, throw the guy out at third. Yeah, they're still working on the fundamental aspect because Coach McDonald at CVCC knows, you know, hey, if we're able to get these fundamentals down and show these things and put, you know, we had some local players, you know, CVCC, you know, playing, kids that I've watched grow up, laying bunts down, doing things they're supposed to do, that he knows when he gets to the regional or super regional that they've got a great chance to win by doing those things, Lanny. Not standing up there with his left guy hitting a home run. He was happy for the kid. That was exciting. But that's not what he wants the other stuff because he knows the other things will follow. Sorry, I just wanted to.
But it's okay. It's okay if what he did with that batter was you got the green light to hit away.
Yeah, and
then whatever you do, but he would have been just excited with a base hit.
Yeah, or a chopper up the middle that he beats out.
Or one one you put in a corner somewhere and you can make second on it.
I'm so disheartened by the way that baseball has evolved that I can't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't watch pro games anymore.
I never watched much anyway, but it's really gotten to the point to where I can't.
And it's not that I did. I think there's a lot of great people, a lot of great players that are playing, that are very talented, but the dynamics of the game I've become disinterested in because I feel like strategy has gone away and it's about muscle. And, you know, expanding bases, you know, you can't shift, you can't do this, you can't the game is skewed to the offense, but still there's very little offensive output except for the home run.
Yeah. All right, we're in overtime. Got to get out of here. Have a great weekend. Don't forget, Lincoln Times News, the football contest you got till today to get your stuff in for this weekend. Again, congratulations, Bob Duckworth. He picked up his. See you in a couple of weeks. I'll be here because somebody has to work. So
I'm working.
I know you are. It's amazing what you do. I am so impressed. See you next time.